Hola, everyone. All right, so this is your boy David, or Shot Town Dede for those who only know me on social media. And I'm coming today because I wanted to touch on something that I've seen and it's really irking me. So, those of you who don't know me, who don't know me, don't know that I'm a truck driver. And I drive around locally in the Chicago area, often in the Joliet area. And I've been doing this for a little over 10 years. I have no preventable accidents on my record. I have a really good driving record, blase. It's really not that uncommon in trucking. Of course, there's going to be some bad seeds, but majority of the people that I know in trucking have really good driving records. But one thing that I've noticed today, and I've been noticing recently in the Joliet area, is coming down Route 53, which is a state route. It also is a U.S. major highway. U.S. major highways are typically designated for trucks to be able to go through. But I keep seeing all these signs all over the place that says no trucks. It has like a truck in the middle with the red circle around it and a cross slash going through it. And at the bottom of it, it keeps on saying Safe Roads, Illinois. And these are new signs, right? So I've been coming in this area for pretty much the last 9 years, and I've never seen these signs before. I just started seeing them pop up like all over the place. And the interesting thing is, it would be understandable if these were on residential streets. However, this is on Route 53 / Highway 52, which is a truck route. In addition to that, this area that we're in is a really large commercial area. It's got two of the largest railroads, rail yards in the country in this area, and it's like residential on the outskirts. So not only is this a trucker-friendly route, but it's a trucker-friendly area. So I just seriously don't understand why people are putting up these signs saying no trucks when it's a trucking area. But nevertheless, I wanted to go and do some research, right? Because oftentimes people will see big trucks and for no reason whatsoever, they instantly hate us. They don't want to be around us, which is good. You should never really ride alongside a big truck because it is dangerous. However, people make us out to be an enemy for no reason, simply because we're bigger than them. And then people also start attaching, ignorant, undeserving assessments to us, right? We're dangerous and all of this stuff. So one of the things that I wanted to do is do a little research, because that's something that, as you should know, is not too common in today's society. So when I did my research, I found out a couple of things, and I'm just going to quote these stats and then we'll touch on them in a little bit. So for one, the total number of injuries caused by accidents in America is between 20 to 50 million. The total number of deaths from accidents in America is 1.3 million. In America, as of last count, there are 15.5 million trucks. The total injuries from accidents involving trucks or semi-trucks is 130,000. The total number of deaths from accidents involving trucks as of 2012 is 3,802. 70% of all truck accidents result in no death or injury, just property damage. Check this out. 90% of the accidents involving semi-trucks are due to human error. Check this out. 75% of that 90% of the accidents involving trucks are caused by drivers of cars and other small vehicles. This is what's been determined after the DOT does their investigations when there's been an accident involving a big truck. Now, here's my thing. We just went over the numbers. Let me get my little cheat sheet back. We just went over the numbers and everything. And as you can see, there's 1.3 million deaths. 1.3 million deaths from accidents in general in the United States. And of those deaths, only 3,802 even involve a truck. And this is of 2012. And when I did my research from 2008 until 2012, each year the numbers have gone down involving trucks, not in general, but involving trucks. The numbers have gone down. 1.3 million total, 3,802 involve trucks. And 75% of those are due to the negligence of the other drivers, not the truck driver. Now, when I look at these numbers, it just tells me that this whole agenda that's been launched against us truckers about us being dangerous and us being unsafe is not even grounded. It's not grounded in the facts, the statistics. Now, opinions, we already know what opinions are like. But everybody got an opinion. But when you look at the facts, it's not grounded. It makes no sense for you to make some big thing about truckers being unsafe and truckers being deadly, this, that, or another, when the facts prove otherwise. Are there some truckers that are just negligent and cause deaths? Of course there are. But that is a really, really low number, and it does not warrant these signs and everything that's around Joliet, and I'm pretty sure they're all around Illinois and maybe even all around the country, of this big movement, just anti-truck movement. Now, here's another reason why it really doesn't make sense. I'm going to tell you why. Truckers, generally speaking, go through at least 2, maybe sometimes 3 months of training before they're even given the keys to a truck. We got to go through extensive training just to get our permits to drive semi-trucks. In addition to that, majority of your truck drivers have to go through annual training for safety and defensive driving, as well as elemental driving, because some of us truckers go up into the mountains, we're driving in the ice, we're driving in snow, we're driving in rain, we're driving in fog, whereas most people who drive cars typically only drive around the area that they live, to and from work, to and from entertainment, stuff like that. So they're familiar already with the elements in their area, whereas a trucker may be from Florida, right, and then he gets a load up into Colorado and he got to drive through the Rocky Mountains. So a lot of the companies, they require us to do this annual training. We have to go through this stuff on an annual basis. The ironic part is we've continually been called negligent or dangerous, this, that, or another, and we're the only ones that's really going through all of this extensive training to make sure we know what we're doing and make sure we're doing our job safely. On the same token, no state requires any kind of safety or defensive driving classes or training for people to get a driver's license. All you got to do is just pass a test, and we all know how easy that test is. And we're not even talking about the people who got homeboys and homegirls at the DMV that just hooks them up, right? All you simply have to do is pass the test, and you have a license for life, or until you lose those privileges. So you're dealing with millions of cars out here who have no training whatsoever. People are driving basically just based on what they deem to be appropriate. No formal training, no formal safety classes or anything like that. Versus truckers who have months and months and months, and some people even years of training, and we're being called the ones that's unsafe. We're the most prepared drivers on the road. I just seriously, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, we all see that person on the road that's just doing way too much stuff while they're driving, and then they don't understand why they're getting a ticket from the state trooper or how that accident was caused or whatever. As I stated, there's this big movement against truckers. I don't know where it's coming from. It really doesn't even make any sense, because you really got to acknowledge something else. Those same people that are making these posts and making this big push to regulate trucks more and more, even though we're already super regulated, those are the same people, whether you want to recognize it or not, that cannot do without trucks. Like, face it, you need us. Everything that you know in life involves a truck touching it at one point or another. So while you're riding down the road and you're looking at these trucks and you're going on your phone making posts, this, that, or another, calling your local government official to complain that you don't like trucks being around, just understand one thing. That phone that you're using was brought by a truck. That car that you're driving in was not only brought to the dealership that you bought it from by a truck, but the raw materials that was needed to build that car at the plant was brought by a truck. All right, those clothes that you're wearing, guess what? Those were bought by a truck. That house you live in, check it out. The building materials that's needed for that was bought by a truck. What else? Like the hospital you was born in, everything in there was brought by, guess what? A truck. There's nothing that you touch in life on a daily basis in the year 2015 that has not been touched by a truck. So instead of looking at trucks and trying to make us out to be the enemy, you need to be sitting back and thanking a trucker, because without trucks, that 99-cent whatever that you buy, those groceries and all that stuff that you buy from the stores, or whatever you're buying, those clothes from Walmart, guess what? Without trucks, they would either be non-existent, because it would just be impossible to get it from wherever it came from to the store, or the few products that would still be able to be sold would cost you like 1,000,000% more. Why? Because it's a lot cheaper for Walmart to ship a 40,000 pounds of toilet paper, right, in one shipment, because they only got to pay for that one shipment, but they can sell it, right, in the stores to multiple people. That means that they can reduce the price that they're charging you. So what do you think would happen if trucks disappeared, and let's say Walmart had to use Billy's pickup truck for everything that they're selling in their store? They're gonna have to pay Billy to make 1,000,000 trips to get the same amount of product that they can put on my one truck. How much do you think that toilet paper is gonna go up? Now, so think about those things. The next time you want to bash a truck, or you bash the trucking industry in general, or whatever the case, think about the stats. Remember the stats. Go back to the beginning of this video, or do your own research, get the stats, realize that your argument is invalid statistically speaking, and then from a more practical standpoint, you probably should focus more so on the great that trucks do for this country. We didn't even talk about military. The military loves us. But you should probably focus more so on the great things that truckers do for this country, as opposed to just jumping on a bandwagon and hating us just because you don't understand anything about trucks. Okay? Love you. Peace.